I got incredible feedback from you guys talking about the price of the upcoming Pocophone F1 video you guys can find up here. I talked to you guys about it on Twitter, link to my Twitter down below, and I wanted for us to play a little game. So in this video, I am going to come up with what my idea or what my ideal specs would be for a Pocophone F2 at a specific price point, keeping in mind that the Pocophone brand was really built on giving us performance components, not a lot of extra like unneeded features, and then giving it to us at like an industry leading price. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and in the comment section down below or tweet me what your Pocophone F1 would be. And keep in mind that in this world that we're going to make this phone in, the Redmi K30 Pro exists, so it needs to somehow be different from the Redmi K30 Pro. And then I'm going to make a follow-up video reading your ideas and then sharing them back here on the channel. So what I came up with for a Pocophone F2 was a device that was going to cover what I thought the basics of the Pocophone F1 would be, which would be a solid screen, top tier specs, a good camera or good camera hardware, and then overall a cheap body or a body that kind of cuts corners. So my Pocophone F2 is going to come with an AMOLED display at 60 Hertz. It's going to come with a 180 Hertz touch refresh rate. So essentially the same screen that we already have on the Redmi K30 Pro, but I would like to have a little teardrop notch up at the top. The original Pocophone had a notch. I think this Pocophone should have a notch, and that way it can be different from the Redmi K30 Pro, because I think that adding the extra cost of a motorized camera for a Pocophone device is unneeded. It's going to have the same internal specs as the Redmi K30 Pro. So UFS 3.1 or UFS 3.0 storage, LPDDR5 RAM coming in at 6 gigabytes, 8 gigabytes, or 10 gigabytes of RAM, depending upon the model. The construction of the device, I would like it to be that same Kevlar plastic or Kevlar reinforced polymer back that we had, so plastic back. And then I want to have a 4700 milliamp hour battery. Now, for the fingerprint scanner, I'm thinking to cut costs, and since we're going to have a plastic body already, a side-mounted fingerprint scanner would be a great cost-cutting measure. And on top of that, as much as the in-display fingerprint scanner is nice, it makes it too similar to the Redmi K30 Pro, so a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. Now for the cameras. Camera-wise, I want to see one IMX686 sensor with OIS. I'd like to see the 20 megapixel ultra-wide camera from the Redmi, from the Mi Note 10 or the Mi 10 Pro. It's the same 20 megapixel ultra-wide, and then that's it. If they want to throw in a depth sensor, that's fine. I think it's unneeded. If they want to throw in a macro sensor, I think that's unneeded. But a good high-quality main sensor and then a good ultra-wide camera. On top of that, I want Xiaomi's 27-watt sonic charger, which is the same charging spec that we had on the Mi Note 10 and the K20 Pro. I think 27 watts is enough. If Xiaomi wants to give us something faster, I think that's totally fine. Although a micro SD card is not necessary, I think that'd be something that a lot of Pocophone F2 owners would really like. On top of that, of course, I'd like to see a headphone jack for the device and possibly an IR blaster for those of us that use our phones for multiple purposes. And then price. So I'm thinking for the 8 GB RAM, 128 gigabyte of storage at the highest speed storage, I think that a good starting price for this would be $425 with maybe a 6 gigabyte of RAM, 64 gigabyte storage variant coming in at $375. And then the highest spec version of it coming in at $450 maybe with 10 gigabytes of RAM, something in that price range. But that way we have a plastic phone, we have less cameras than the Redmi K30 Pro, we have cheaper construction than the Redmi K30 Pro, we have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, which again gives it enough of a difference from the Redmi K30 Pro that the Pocophone F2 could still exist, because I don't think that a Redmi K30 Pro carries the same spirit as the original Pocophone F1, to be honest with you guys. But this isn't what I think, this is what you think. So I want to make a video and I want to do a follow-up with what your thoughts are. And let's just have a conversation about this in the comment section down below. I'd be really interested to know what you guys think. And we're gonna go ahead and read some of your comments from the video about the best value phone that I made. One of them coming from Hyper: what if I buy Redmi K20 Pro and overclock its screen to 90 Hertz? Will be again a new value champ? I think no, to be honest. I think that overclocking the display of a phone, it isn't a great idea because it's going to shorten the overall lifespan of the device. I've also heard about there being color issues when you overclock. There's color issues when you go ahead and overclock the screen of the device. And for most people, it's not something that I can personally recommend here on my channel. And I also don't think that 90 Hertz and a 500 nit display makes it that much better. Matej Milivojkovic: I just really wish it was 90 Hertz, then it would literally be perfection. I understand that people want a 90 Hertz display, but I think that if you're Xiaomi, you need to give people a reason to buy the Mi 10, and putting a high display rate on a Redmi K30 Pro, yeah, doesn't work. Just doesn't work. Dennis said, you're going to switch to the Mi Note line. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot, switching to a Xiaomi Mi Note 10, simply because I think it's probably one of the best value Xiaomi devices out right now. I'm also thinking about selling the K30 Pro and getting either a K30 Pro Zoom or a Xiaomi Mi 10, or maybe rocking something different like a Redmi Note 9, I think, or something like that. Let me know what you guys want my next cell phone to be also with this in the comment section down below. That's my alarm, guys. I gotta go. Till next time, it's been Mitchell coming to you from Hanoi. Peace.